Hello and welcome to News Libre Sports and News Libre as all. We are bringing you nothing but the very best of sports stories. And of course, today I have it with me, that is Creed Mugabe. I don't know if he does cover anything, but at the end of the day, he will tell us. Creed, welcome back. We've seen that is the international break come to an end.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of action happening in different leagues. With so much United without close to 6 players going on to beat up Leicester City, who have always been a dark horse for them.
Exactly.
Chelsea just can't stop winning. You look at Arsenal. Unai Emery just seems like he's reached a cloud of congestion where his brain can no longer work fully.
I was actually waiting for you to describe Man City and Norwich.
Then of course I was getting there, and of course you look at Man City, an absolute crack of a game from Norwich City. They did so much, and they did so much with perfection. The game they played was a game Pep Guardiola would have loved to see his players playing against Norwich City. But at the end of the day, it was all about Norwich City. Timu Puki, continues to write the books up for himself and Norwich City as well. But now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday only means one thing: the return of European football. And of course, for most of the fans out there, Tuesday and Wednesday means the return of one of the biggest tournaments in football, and that's the UEFA Champions League.
Exactly.
Tonight sees defending champions taking on a very tricky side and that is AS Napoli.
Is it still tricky though?
I think it is still tricky because you look at what Carlo Ancelotti has done with Napoli, and you get the feeling that he's actually building a team that he wants to see not just winning the Scudetto in Italy, but also a team that can go on and challenge the Champions League. Remember that last season they finished, I think it was in the quarterfinals, and they'll be looking at how they can, better last season to do much better. What do you think is probably different from this side?
Well, for me, I don't really think they are tricky compared. Regarding to the fact that they're going to be playing against Liverpool, the defending champions, I don't really think they're tricky. When you look at their form book this season in the Serie A, it only reflects one thing: there is a problem at the back, and Carlo Ancelotti isn't really arresting that problem. You look at the first 3 matches that they've played. They've already conceded 10 goals. Their first match was against Fiorentina, 4-3. Then, of course, they played against Juventus, 4-3. It was a loss to them. And then last weekend, they played against Sampdoria. They struggled to beat such a team like Sampdoria. There is only one thing that is lacking at the back, especially that right back position, where you have Lorenzo and then, of course, Costa Manolas at the heart of defense. You see that this Napoli team, true, it's a team that can make a lot of noise, but in terms of defending, they have felt there isn't any chemistry between the heart of the defense and the fullbacks. Because you look at Costas Manolas, Koulibaly at the heart of defense, and then of course the fullback, you have Rui and then Lorenzo. They have really failed to communicate. Now you're playing against a Liverpool team. We all know the counter traits of Sadio Mane
alongside Mohamed Salah.
Exactly. Sadio Mane is this kind of player who loves to run between the fullback and then of course the centre back. If you don't defend very well, of course it's going to make use of that space. So for me, I think they're not really dangerous. They're playing against a Liverpool team, of which I think that Liverpool right now, at least they're getting their mojo on. Remember when the season had just started, they played against Norwich 4-1, but it wasn't really convincing. It's not the side that we have really seen play football. So they played against Norwich, that draw against Chelsea before winning in the spot kicks, then Southampton in there. But right now, at least they have scored 3 goals in their last 3 games. It gives them that sort of motivation. So for me, I think a team that can't defend definitely can't stop Sadio Mane, Firmino and Salah.
Of course, I do agree with you that to stop the likes of Firmino, Mohamed Salah, and of course Sadio Mane, you have to have a very organized team, and Arsenal will definitely be a testimony to that. That if you're not organized defensively, you're always going to get punished by those 3. But for Napoli, I think that they would also think that with their front forwards or their attacking players, they can also have a say in this game, because you look at the likes of Lozano, you look at the likes of Lorenzo Insigne, you look at that is Chris Martins. These are players that can actually, give you an edge in a game. And so it will also call for the discipline in terms of Liverpool's defense, and also probably they may need to look at how they can keep checking on Adrian, because I think that Adrian, once you keep piling the pressure to him, is always going to crack at the end of the day. So that is the first game. Liverpool, do you think they'll be able to defend this title?
Yeah, they will, though we have really push Napoli against the wall so much, but still, there are a couple of things they can do if they want to give Liverpool a hard time. Because when you look at how they line up, they have very many forwards. I've seen in some situations Ancelotti pushing Lorenzo in the midfield, having Insigne, Lorenzo, then Fabian Ruiz, and of course Alan, and then Jose Callahan playing on the right. So I think that gives them that advantage of having an extra man compared to Liverpool in midfield. And the good thing is when you look at the two players that have been using up front, Lozano and then Martins, they have that advantage whereby they can use Martins up front and then have Lorenzo, the attacking midfielder, slightly play next to that base of the midfield just to make sure that they do have two extra men compared to Liverpool. So this is an advantage defensively and offensively as well.
All right, of course, that is Liverpool taking on is Napoli. Do you think that Napoli will be, Man City can defend the title?
Man City?
Liverpool can. Do you think they can defend the title?
No, they won't defend the title.
All right. Who do you think will be winning this title?
Juventus.
I struggle to see Juventus winning this title because I think that Mauricio Sarri is very much of a thinker man, quite disorganized tactically to be able to win the title.
So you think Liverpool will defend the title?
No. I think Man City might be surprised by Man City or Barcelona. Not quite Spurs. Spurs have a lot of cracking that they can always succumb to. The big game of the day, the biggest game of the week, I must say, Borussia Dortmund go to Camp Nou to take on Barcelona in the Champions League. Do you think that? I've watched that is Ansu Fati. The 16-year-old, such a joy to watch.
Exactly.
And then, of course, you look at the partnership that is created with Antoine Griezmann. You look at Perez as well. Then in the back line, they seem to have found a formation that helps them to be able to manage the different attacks. And then, of course, you look at Sergio Busquets as well. The way he plays in the heart of that midfield. But for me, the real icon in that midfield has to be Frankie de Jong. He's really been very instrumental. So many people have not talked about his impact on this Barcelona side in the absence of Lionel Messi. But for me, he's really held that midfield together, has brilliant distribution of the ball, has an eye and knows when to track back, when to push forward differently. Then, of course, for Borussia Dortmund, you look at Marco Reus. Of course, they are still playing cold and warm. In the Bundesliga, and you get the feeling that they could actually be punished in today's game.
Well, I think there are two things. One of the things that I've realized about Borussia Dortmund, it's a team that they don't really need to have the ball for them to win. Because I watched the game they played against Bayern Leverkusen. It was 4-0 or 5. They scored very many goals in there. And you look at, after the 90 minutes, they had enjoyed the ball for only 35% of the possession. But what were the scores? The scores were in their favor. So you can tell that there is that identity that they have formed with this team. They sit back, let you enjoy the ball, and then they make use of the likes of Sancho.
Something that's not characteristic about them.
Exactly. That they can get on counter-attack. So for me, this only suggests one thing for me, is Barcelona good enough to enjoy that ball and make use of all the chances that they are going to create? Do they have what it takes in the final third to create the chances, especially that when you look at the final third, it's going to be crowded. If you're going to use Fati, does he possess that ability to create for the team? Those are some of the questions.
Barcelona will argue that over the weekend they scored 5 goals.
They scored 5 goals against a team, we shall get to that, but they scored 5 goals against a team that wasn't defensively organized. And then I look at some of the players, especially you talked about the defenders at Barcelona. I think that Alaba needs to be disciplined on and off the ball. Is this kind of player who loves to overlap. Now, if you overlap, that means Sancho is getting freedom and space. I've seen Busquets and Gerard Piqué. I think this season they have really reflected their edge, which is catching up with them. Now you're playing against a team that has pace, a team that can create. So I think it's really a cracker, but Borussia Dortmund
could
have
work
the ability to win.
Like you're seeing 2 goals from Alcacer and 1 from Jadon Sancho.
All I know Sancho is going to create chances because Alaba loves to move. Sancho has too much pace, and I don't really think that he's going to get any sort of hard time to play against Barcelona. So a couple of things, and I don't really think that Messi is fit enough to be a part of the game.
Of course, he started training just yesterday. So probably we'll wait and see if they will announce him on the team.
So you could tell that one of the differences is we have looked at the Borussia Dortmund team that has created some sort of identity, the way they play sit back, counter attack. And then for Barcelona, I could say, I know it could be harsh, but I could say that it's a team that is trying to create something out of nothing. Without Messi, they're trying to get the results.
Yes,
that's the difference.
All right. Of course, that is AS Barcelona for you. And like I said, like Krida said, for him, this is a Borussia Dortmund win. But for me, I believe that at the Camp Nou, but that is Barcelona are always a team, difficult to take up on. Of course, we've seen some teams, of course, go to the Camp Nou to pick up a win. But there are also times when they have been beaten in their own backyard. So, anything can happen. But Borussia Dortmund will definitely have a huge say in tonight's game. And of course, our last game of the day, of course, there's so many other games that are going to be happening, but we're taking a look at all the top 3 games that we've chosen, and that is Chelsea taking on Valencia. Chelsea, all of a sudden, after that 4-0 drubbing they got from Old Trafford, they have seemingly found themselves. They now play with so much passion. I think that after that 4-0 drubbing, they went on to draw, and they have since gone and picked up some good wins. And recently, they picked up a 5-2 win in the English Premier League. Frank Lampard, just as he had talked about, he said he only needed his time to build the team, and he's definitely building this team around young kids. You can see that the players are playing with so much passion, so much intensity, and I think that's a big difference. But Timo Pukki, not Timo Pukki. I love that gentleman. I do love Timo Pukki.
FPL, okay.
This is not FPL. Also, there is FPL for Champions League. So if you love FPL stress, please do get the FPL for Champions League as well. So for me, Tammy Abrahams, really, such a massive player he was in the Championship. Going head to head with Timo Pukki in the Golden Boot. Comes into the English Premier League, fails to score in 1, 2, 3 games. In the Super Cup, misses the penalty to give Chelsea that edge. And now, all of a sudden, he's scoring goals for fun. He's competing for the top scorers. Do you think that he is going to be the difference in today's game?
I think for me, you've talked about everything that he has been through, and I think one of the great abilities that I've realized about Tammy Abraham, he doesn't wear his heart on his sleeves. Because if you remember having that bad run in the first 2 games, of course, against Liverpool, it was against Man United and then Liverpool in the Super Cup. After that, I watched the interview where he came through and said that he doesn't really care what people say about him. He's going to keep on playing football. Now, for a young lad to have that mentality, to me, is a box ticked for me. So, getting to this match, I think that they have the ability to win comfortably, because I've seen Frank Lampard, he has tried out very many things. We have seen players playing out of position. Everyone has been complaining about Kante in there. Some have been complaining about Giroud, because Tammy Abraham has been starting ahead of Giroud. And Frank Lampard has been trying to build something, because to me, he has tried everything. There was a time when Chelsea used an average of 24 players in terms of age, the youngest side in the Premier League. So I really think that Frank Lampard has put himself in a position whereby at least everyone knows what he's trying to do. You can't sign players, but at least you're making use of the bunch of players that you do have. Now, playing against Valencia were walloped by Barcelona. They conceded 2 goals in the first 7 minutes. It says a lot about their defense. And when you look at that formation of 4-4-2, under Marcelino, true, it was really good off and on the ball, but you look at the new coach, Albert Celade, he actually came through with negative tactics. At the back, off the ball, they really look shambolic. It's a team that can't really defend off the ball. Now, you are playing against a Chelsea team whereby it's all about pace. You have Mount, you have Tammy Abraham in there, Pulisic. Are you going to put yourself in a position where you can defend against a team like Chelsea? Considering the fact that your defense is not really good? Definitely, I don't think so, because is this kind of coach is going to get into that game with that same formation over and over. And to me, if you're going to get into the Champions League whereby you change your tactics, it's not really good for the team, because you all know that Valencia love playing in a 4-4-2, but they love that compact defense, and then of course make use of the counter-attacks, the likes of Guedes, Parejo in there. But if you're not going to use those abilities, which kind of Valencia team is going to play? Definitely they're not going to put up a good fight. So getting into this match, I think that their defense has a lot to do. They need to make sure that they keep the likes of Tammy Abraham, Mount in there silent, but do they have the ability to do that? Definitely, the game against Barcelona, I don't really think that they can do that. And to me, I think that Chelsea may score more than 2 goals.
All right, of course, for me, what I'm all saying is that the likes of Koyate and Coquelin may definitely have a lot of work to do tonight against Chelsea if they are going to try and pick up a point at the Stamford Bridge. And also the likes of Moreno and Guedes will have to also put up a lot of effort if they are to stop, that is, the Englishmen from Stamford Bridge from taking all the massive 3 points. But at the end of the day, it's all the Champions League. It's all about that moment. So what we'll say, me and Creed, at the moment is, we'll be catching you tomorrow. We'll be bringing you analysis of all the big games that happen tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow PSG take on Real Madrid in what is promises to be a mouth cracker. Tottenham entertain, that is, Olympiacos, who are just coming back into the Champions League framework, and of course Atletico Madrid in another mouth-watering encounter take on Juventus. From me, Moses Echodu, Creed Mugabe, and the entire team at News Live will say peace, enjoy football, enjoy responsibly.